Hello, everybody. This is Emily Cook, Instructional Design Specialist from the Washington and Lee University Library. See, that's me. And I'm here today to talk to you about the digital poster part of your Techno project. All right, so the Techno project, what is it? Well, as you know, you'll be creating a model of some form of technology, researching that model, seeing how that model represents various physical properties, and then creating a digital poster to kind of showcase what you learned about this process. Your digital poster will then be presented to your peers in a digital poster session. Why is this important? Well, the whole process really represents the scientific communication system. There are three important roles within the scientific communication process: the scientist who's actually engaged in original research. There is somebody who reads the scientist's work. That could be a journalist, it could be any sort of science popularizer, synthesizes that work and then relates it to the general public. And then there's also the general public. So the general public is likely reading the scientific information from the middleman, not the original scientist. In this techno project, you're going to be acting in all three roles. You're going to be the scientist. You're going to be researching various facets behind your piece of technology. You're actually going to be creating your model. You're also going to be the person who communicates that science because you're going to be creating a digital poster that will then live online for everyone to see. And you're also going to act as the general public who's consuming that information as you serve as a peer reviewer for your other colleagues in this course. We've been talking about digital posters, but does digital poster as a term really mean anything? It can be kind of confusing. For this class, a digital poster is, in essence, just really a web page. But it becomes more than a web page when you think about it in the context of a digital poster session. Many of you have probably seen traditional print poster sessions. In a traditional print poster session, people usually synthesize their information and display it in a physical format on an oversized piece of paper. The important thing to know about a poster session is that you're there too. You're acting as the complement to your poster. If anyone has any questions about the material that's placed on your poster, they're going to ask you. So you always want to be ready to answer questions and explain any difficult jargon you have noted on your poster. For your class, because it's a digital poster session, you'll be displaying your web pages, i.e., digital posters, in a room full of LCD flat screens. Here are just some examples of digital poster sessions in action. This digital poster session occurred last term for Geology 155, Oceanography. As you can see, the presenters are engaging their audience. Behind the presenters are their digital posters. As you can see in the background, the digital poster isn't exceedingly heavy on text. A digital poster is not an academic paper. You aren't going to want 12 pages of information. You are synthesizing your information to the most salient points. You're also focusing on displaying your information visually. Visually is the key word here. You're going to be including pictures, charts, data, whatever is applicable to your topic. Here's another example of a digital poster session from last year's Physics 114 class. Differing from the oceanography presentation, presenters are also discussing their physical model. The nitty-gritty. So what you actually need to know to succeed in this project. First, you want to look at the Technoproject website. It's technoprojects2016.academic.wlu.edu. I can show you what it looks like now. Look through this website, but read a couple things thoroughly. First, thoroughly read the assignment instructions. The digital poster instructions will include very basic things, like how to actually log into WordPress and finding and using images. Videos are provided as well, in case you get lost. Finally, look closely at the peer review rubric. This is what you'll be using when reviewing your peers' digital posters, and what they'll be using when they're reviewing your posters. As we said with the digital poster instructions, there's information about finding and using images. A digital poster is a highly visual medium, so you'll want to include some images. But images aren't just pretty pictures. They could be 3D models, interactive charts and graphs, or interactive timelines. When using images that you didn't create, remember to consider copyright. As it says on the webpage, your digital posters/web pages will be freely viewable online. Make sure that you follow copyright guidelines when using any images that you did not create. If you have any questions about copyright and how copyright applies to your actual project, contact Digital Scholarship Librarian Alston Coburn. Like I just said, images can be a lot more than pretty pictures. You can also synthesize data visually to communicate your result. But a picture's worth 1,000 words, and you can easily misrepresent information visually. This is a website by Tyler Vegan called Spurious Correlations. Tyler Vegan took a huge amount of data sets and condensed them and found trend lines. He then saw which trend lines matched each other. Remember, the data sets aren't necessarily related. He put the matching trend lines next to each other to show that because data correlates with other data, it doesn't necessarily speak to a causative force. So, for example, the per capita consumption of mozzarella cheese correlates with civil engineering doctorates awarded. Do you think there's a causative force? I'm not sure. Another good thing to remember when creating data visualizations, such as charts and graphs, is that 10% of the population has some form of color blindness. Most of the people who have color blindness cannot distinguish red and green. So it's very important if you're using color to distinguish data content to avoid colors which may cause confusion in your population. That's pretty much where I'll leave you. If you have any questions about your digital poster, which includes actually using WordPress, finding images, adding images, embedding data, whatever, come find me, Emily Cook, at Washington and Lee University Library. My office is in Leyburn Library, and I'm always reachable by email,